Welcome to another installment of the Dubscast, the video incarnation of the most unique sports blog on the web, Dubsism.wordpress.com. Today's episode is going to have a little bit of a Sesame Street feel to it because today's installment of the Dubcast is brought to you by the letter R and the number 36. Got on today's topic reading some of the things that I put in my RSS feed every day. One of them is a really good sports blog called blogsurface.com. You should check that out right after you check out Dubsism. But today he had a post about Randy Moss making an official announcement that he's leaving the 49ers. Randy Moss, R. But when he made this announcement, he forgot to use another important R word, which is retirement. And Randy, you need to retire, okay? He's a Hall of Fame guy. I mean, he's a first ballot guy. I mean, he's had a career that, for half of it, he was a dominant force in the league. For a small part of the second half of it, he was still an effective player, but it's over. And that really can be summed up by three crucial sets of numbers, all of which have something to do with 36. I can't wait to hear from Viking fans about this. I'm sure some Patriot fans might have some thoughts on this as well, but realistically, the Hall of Fame part of Randy Moss's career happened with those two teams, either the Vikings or the Patriots. Without that, he's really not that effective of a player, and the trends don't work for him to continue being in the NFL. And let's just break down some of the numbers that we're going to go through today. First set of numbers, 9x6. Okay? Now what that means is that Randy Moss's career has been 15 years in the NFL, and 9 of them he's had more than 10 touchdown catches, and in 6 of them he's had less than 10 touchdown catches. Okay? What it all breaks down to is that in the seasons where he's had 10 touchdown catches or more, he's produced 120 touchdowns, and that breaks down to 13.3 per season. Huge numbers. His yards per catch numbers are huge in those seasons as well. They're averaging right around 70 a game. Actually, I think it's a little bit less than that, but it doesn't matter. 9 seasons out of 15, he's a force in the league. Okay, for the other 6, and there's that pesky 36 number, okay? In those 6 seasons, he only has 36 touchdown catches, which breaks down to 6 a year. Okay, that's not that dominant of a number. It's okay. I mean, good tight ends get 6 touchdown catches in a year. But Randy Moss wasn't supposed to be a tight end. Randy Moss is supposed to be your deep threat home run guy. He's got to do more than 6 touchdowns. That's why teams were giving him far more money than they should have. Now, let's look at the trend part of that, and specifically we'll go into the 6 seasons in which Randy Moss did not have more than 10 touchdown catches. Now, this one gets a little bit detailed. You look at 2001, he's got 10 catches, 77 yards per game. Not bad, but look at the trend. We just keep going down. 7, 84.2. 2005, 8, 62.8. 2006, 3, 92.5. 42.5. 2010, 5, 29.4. 2012, 3, 27.1. For a guy that's a home run deep threat guy, 27 yards per game, that's not cutting it. That also, I mean, if you look at those numbers again, that does not include the 2011 season when Randy wasn't even in the league and didn't play. So, I mean, if you include that season and say that's part of his career because he hadn't retired yet, those numbers get even worse. What it comes down to, if you look at his seasons where he produced, meaning more than 10 touchdown catches a season, his yards per catch average, or yards per game average, he's roughly equivalent to today's Deshaun Jackson. Okay, not bad. There's a legitimate deep threat and kind of a head case, and comparison kind of works. But if you look at the downside, when he's not producing 10 touchdown catches, he's really statistically equivalent to Braylon Edwards. Now, I don't know too many NFL guys, I don't know too many NFL fans, GMs, whoever, would really want to give Braylon Edwards big money and say, this is the guy that's gonna be the vertical threat in our passing game. I don't think that's gonna happen. All right, the last number that really concerns me about Randy Moss, and it's our sponsor number today, 36. This number is important. Not only is it the number of touchdown catches Randy Moss has produced in his bad years, but it's also his age. Randy Moss is not a young guy anymore. Go back to the days in the Vikings. His whole game was, I can outrun you down the field, and when I get to the end zone, I can outjump you. And I'm 6'5", your average NFL D-back is 5'10", couldn't keep up with him, couldn't outjump him. That was his game, you know. In the Viking years, all Dante Culpepper had to do was throw the ball high in the end zone. Vikings get a touchdown. In the Patriot years, I mean, we all remember that footage of Randy Moss outrunning Darrelle Revis to the end zone, and Revis blew a hamstring and just was never going to touch him in a foot race. Okay, and that was a long time ago. I mean, 5-6 years, that's dog years in the NFL, and 36 is a magic number for NFL wide receivers. Here's the question that backs that up. Okay, how many wide receivers made the Pro Bowl after age 35 in the last 20 years? I'll hum the Jeopardy theme for a little bit to give you time to answer that question. Okay, enough of that. The answer is Jerry Rice, and that was in 1998. Now, Jerry Rice is another physical specimen. I mean, here's a guy that started at wide receiver in the NFL at age 42 back in 2004. That's not going to happen for Moss. That's not going to happen for anybody. That was just an anomaly. The real thing is, and you can go to ProFootballReference.com and just start combing through some stats, and you're going to see this cliff at age 35 where the career of not only receivers but a lot of your skill guys goes right downhill. It's a pretty clear line in the sand, and last time I checked, 36 is a bigger number than 35. Okay. I didn't want to get off on, my personal feelings about Randy Moss, because, I mean, those of you who know me from my days of living in Minnesota, you already know what I think about the Vikings, and you already know what I think about Randy Moss and that whole era of Viking football. So we'll just close this up with, back to our Sesame Street theme. Randy, you need to retire because you're over the magic number. You've had a Hall of Fame career. It's time to sit back, enjoy it, and get ready to have somebody give you a gold jacket in Canton in a few years. All right, that's today's installment of the Dubcast. Have a good day, and thanks for checking us out.